Hi, folks. It's the Video Game Choo Choo Podcast. We're here. We're ready. We're all up on to talk about all kinds of games and content and, you know, events that occur every single day of our rotten cotton-picking lives. It's me, John. I'm on here, and I'm hosting the show. Talk about the games.
The games?
Yeah, there's video games afoot, and we're ready to discuss them. Folks, of course, with me this week is Christine. Hello, Christine.
Hi, John. It's good to be back.
This feels like it's been a really long week. Like, looking at the list of news that happened, I'm not even 100% sure that I'm all caught up on everything.
It didn't help that, so much was all announced on, like Thursday and Friday were just, big days with way too much stuff happening.
It was a lot. But, we could always just go through it. I don't know, maybe we could do some news first and then talk about some games that we played.
That sounds good to me.
Alright. Okay. So, probably I mean, there's two big stories. They both happened on the day of recording today.
Stephen A. Smith is joining the Game Awards? I mean, huge.
Okay, three big things happened today. So, I don't know. One of them is, just weird and surprising, and the other one is just alright, we'll see where that goes. This is a real thing now. I guess we can start off with the BioWare news. So, Casey Hudson and Mark Dara, I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly.
I think so.
Yeah, they have both left BioWare. Casey Hudson was the general manager of BioWare, and Mark Dara was the Dragon Age executive producer. They both... It doesn't really seem like there's a specific reason, other than from what Hudson said, he wants to make way for the next generation of studio leaders. Yeah, they're both saying that they're retiring, so who knows if they are going to go anywhere, if they're just done. Yeah, Hudson is saying that he wants to work on personal work. But BioWare is saying that this isn't really going to affect the things that they're working on right now. They have their big Anthem update. They have that Mass Effect collection. Both of those things are probably just being worked on by, whoever. They don't really need anyone specific to lead them there.
Yeah.
The Dragon Age thing... Dara is saying that they already have a new person in charge of that. Christian Daly from BioWare Austin is going to, who is the studio director there, is going to now be the executive director on Dragon Age, which I guess they're going to be showing Dragon Age 4 at the Game Awards. So, it sounds like both of those games, or all of those games, aren't really going to be impacted too much by this. At least that's what they're claiming. I don't know. I at the end of the day here, I'm going to be honest, these people getting out of there, probably good for them. Because, thinking about BioWare in 2020, thinking about the games that they're putting out, I don't really know anybody who's, chomping at the bit for that Mass Effect collection. You see people being like, you know what, yeah, I'll give that another shot. I remember playing Mass Effect when I was younger. And then, who cares about Anthem? I feel like there's people that are excited for Dragon Age 4, but, God,
Yeah.
I don't know. I always feel like everyone who's into Dragon Age, they're either, completely in love with it, or they're like, oh my god, this one sucked. I remember when the last ones were good. So, I don't know.
I'm one of the weirdos that loved Dragon Age 2, when it came out, before they, quotation fingers, fixed its problems. So it's weird news because this is the second time Casey Hudson's left BioWare.
Yeah, didn't he just come back like a year or so ago to try working on Mass Effect again?
Yeah, he came back after the Andromeda fiasco, which that felt weird too. Like, him coming back felt odd, and then like now him and the Dragon Age director leaving at the same time is... It makes you wonder a little bit more.
I mean, I guess they just sat there and were like, wow. You know, they probably saw the writing on the wall here, and they were just like, we're good, we're done.
Yeah.
We don't gotta keep fucking with this anymore.
Like, the EA writing on the wall, those big letters of studio destruction.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I'd say probably don't put too much hope into future Dragon Age, Mass Effect stuff, like after this happening and all that. This whole scenario just seems like a huge headache.
Yeah. Like it was a weird thing to wake up to this afternoon. Like, that then immediately flooded with more news we'll get into later, and it just like kept coming. But like opening with, hey, BioWare is back to being EA-ish, it was interesting to say the least, because I trust Casey Hudson and them with their games, because I mean, I was a big BioWare fan for a long time. It's, you know, their games have meant a lot to me. And then Casey left, and it was like, okay, these are bad. Huh.
Yeah. I guess we could just get into the next bit of news then. The more, I would say more interesting to me bit, just because it made Twitter funny for a little while. That Metal Gear movie that has been like percolating for years. There's been all this talk, all these little murmurs about all this happening. Every like few years, there's this little bit of news that makes it more real.
It exists, we swear.
And it's becoming even more real because, according to Deadline, Oscar Isaac has been cast as Solid Snake.
God, that's legitimately great casting.
Yeah, I'm not opposed. I don't know Oscar Isaac's work too much, other than the 2 Star Wars movies that I saw him in, because I never saw the third one.
Good choice.
But he seems pretty fine. He seems like an alright actor, and he also, I think last year he straight up said he wanted to be Snake, so he probably has some knowledge of the character. And I've definitely seen like concept art of him as Snake. He could definitely pull the look off. Yeah, and like, as long as they have fun with it, I don't see why not. I don't have any like hopes for this movie. Not like, because if it's good, sure, I'll take it. If it's bad, it'll be good for some laughs. That's it. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh my god, the Metal Gear movie is gonna be the first great video game movie. Oh.
Well, I mean, Street Fighter exists, so it can't be that.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat. Like if it's on the level of the Street Fighter movie or the Mortal Kombat movie, then great. If it's incredible, whatever. But like, also, it's not going to be great. No. People are gonna be going to see this movie, and they're going to be like, why the fuck is this man named Otacon? This Vulcan Raven thing is kind of racist, and this sniper lady's in the like Arctic and her titties are out.
Why did the man in the gas mask ask if we liked Castlevania?
Yeah, it's going to be completely stupid.
Just
and
fucking Psycho Mantis just looking at the screen and go, "Did you watch Netflix's Castlevania?"
It's like, yeah, like the first 2 seasons, and that's it. Thanks.
I wonder if you could even call him Otakon, because could he go off on his whole speech about, you can call me Otakon, it's short for Otaku Convention, that took place in Baltimore. They're gonna have to pay for the rights to Otakon.
I mean, they did for Smash Bros. Like, Snake calls him Otakon in Brawl, so...
Yeah.
I guess they'll do it for this. I mean, it's a big movie. It's the big movie, you know? They're gonna want to have the character... Like, you know, people... They're trading on people's nostalgia all the time. If they're gonna do that... You know, like, if the Monster Hunter movie gives enough of a shit to, like, actually have the monsters in there, they'll pay some money to Otakon to have Otakon be named Otakon, you know?
Good point.
But, I don't know, I mean, are there any other characters that you could think of, like, casting for? Because, you know, I'm very out of the loop with Hollywood movies, Hollywood actors, and all that, so...
Yeah,
I couldn't really tell you anyone.
Like half my list of movies that I watch these days are very small, so it's like, hey, you could put Pedro Pascal in a thing, I guess. Yeah, I can't really think of more casting choices, but if they're this, you know, interesting, because I like Oscar Isaac, and, like, you know, if you get good actors who are actually interested in doing what Metal Gear should be, that could be damn good. I want fucking Liquid Snake just chewing scenery for long periods of the movie. Just let him chew that scenery. Let him be a frickin'... Trying to think of really good examples, but...
I think it would be very funny if Oscar Isaac also played Liquid Snake.
But just somebody in there to just really ham it up, because you need that.
I just want everyone to have fun with this movie. That's it.
I need
someone to be legitimately excited to piss their pants as Otacon.
Yes.
I need someone to be like, yes, that is exactly what his character's about. I need the piss. They need to have the piss in the movie.
Okay, I'm a method. I need to actually piss my pants. We need to get this right.
Yeah, I need you to scare me. Yes. Just drink a bunch of water. Who fucking cares? Just do it on command. We need someone who can pee on command. Let's do it. You know what? Here you go. Director, producers, everybody, listen. I know you're gonna want a big name for Otacon, but if you need someone to be Johnny Sasaki, I'll do it. You know, just mask me up. You could have someone else voice me even. I don't care. I'll do it. I'll be nude for the scene where Meryl kicks my ass and takes my outfit, and I'll stick my ass up in the air, and you'll have to blur the hole out. But I'll do it. I'll be Johnny Sasaki.
Honestly, if they kept that scene intact with the blurred asshole, it would be amazing.
They gotta do it. It's only right.
Do you think love can bloom on the battlefield? I can't wait to see that in a theater. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'll probably tear up a little bit when The Best Is Yet to Come starts playing, but that's my own problem. Or just the whole scene where you figure out who Meryl is by the fact that she just, like, shakes her ass, like, in the worst way. It's like, well, God, that part of the game is so bad.
But it's essential! No. I don't know. I do want to see what they... Like, I'm legitimately interested in, like, what they would change, what they feel like they don't change, what's... added. I'm so confused. And
It's going to be like a 5-hour long movie. It's just a shot-for-shot remake
all right, sure,
of that one
Speed
LP.
run. Let's do a speed run.
Shot speed run. Oh my god. Just the fight with Sniper Wolf, him taking out a rocket and then it going into rocket view like it was the Doom movie and fucking oh god.
Goodness. All right. Well, how about you go ahead and talk about a game that you want to talk about? Go right ahead.
So, I want to start with one I have been having both an incredible time with and a miserable time with. As we know, I just got finished with the very mediocre Watch Dogs Legion. You can read the review on the site, and you should. But Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a phenomenal game that I've already run into one almost game-breaking bug, which if I hadn't spent 4 hours trying to figure out a solution to it, I would have lost 30 plus hours of progress. Turns out sometimes it just won't register that you finished a quest. So it won't let you teleport or progress anything. It'll let you progress the story and more, but it won't save that progress. So it acts like you are in combat all the time. Turned out I just had to go to a specific spot behind the longhouse in my settlement, and then suddenly I got a quest complete notification as I was going, I'm going to have to restart this whole damn game, aren't I? And luckily enough, I managed to hit the one lucky trigger point that would trigger that notification. So if you run into that issue and you're playing the game, run around back of the longhouse and hopefully it works for you, because yeah, I only lost 5 hours instead of 30. That part sucked, but the game as a whole is really, really fun. For the first time in the new ones, actually just going in and swinging a sword actually feels good. Which... yeah, the other two, Odyssey, I love that game, but it had good stealth to it. I could stealth into a place, kill everyone, and get out pretty easily. And if things went bad, things would usually go bad and I'd end up dead because the combat just didn't feel great. Whereas in this one, it just feels good to unlock the, hey, you can wield a two-handed weapon in one hand perk, and swing around a giant claymore in one hand and a frickin' hammer in the other. It just feels really good to play. The story is also really good. And for people who want to know, I would highly recommend choosing the Let the Animus Choose For You option for your gender selection for the main character. It actually improves the story by a lot, especially with the reveal I just got to, which took me from this game's pretty dang good to I think I'm in love with this game, and if I had gotten to even if I lose all my progress, I'd probably start it all over again, because it has the exact kind of Norse mythological garbage that me, as somebody who edited a Norse mythology comic, absolutely loves. It's beautiful.
That's good.
Yeah, it's a damn good game. It's probably going to take me a couple more weeks to finish, just because it's long. it's definitely one of the, hey, here's this massive open world with tons and tons of stuff to do, but even then the main story quest is like I've been putting in a few hours a night and only finishing one zone, just powering through the main story without doing a lot of side stuff. So it's definitely a long game, but my time has definitely been worth it. I am loving it. And I'm very glad I figured out that problem, because if I hadn't, I just never would have touched the game again until some patches came out, because it's infuriating. Like, that's the sad thing. It's a really good game, but it's glitchy as all hell. Like, you know, an Ubisoft game when it first comes out.
So it's pretty much what you'd expect. Do you think that they're gonna like patch it more to make sure that it's all up to par, or?
They've already released a couple of big patches since the game came out. None of them fixed the issue I was having, but they did target a bunch of progression blocking bugs that were in there. So I'm hoping they keep up at that pace and keep on, you know, fixing issues as they find them, and because it's a good game that, yeah, I'm in love with it.
No, it's good.
Yeah. So what have you been playing, John?
So I finished Sakura Wars. I played all the way through that.
Ooh.
And it was okay.
Oh,
it was fine.
Well, that's understandable. Like, I mean, it was catnip for me, but I'm still glad even fine from other people makes me happy.
It was okay. Like, I thought the first half of the game was, like, outright bad. And then once you hit, like, around the halfway point and they introduce the whole, like, the big event, the games, the review games where you're, like, fighting against the other troops and all that, I think it picks up quite a bit.
Yeah, it definitely picked up for me in the Azami chapter. Like, I think that's chapter 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's precisely where it picked up. Like, I really feel like that game's major weakness is its romance aspect. And I know that's crazy saying that for a Sakura Wars game where, you know, that whole series is like, oh yeah, you know, you're supposed to be, like, getting with these girls eventually or whatever, but, like, it feels so, like, slapdash in this, and the story just wants you to get with Sakura. Like, Sakura is the canon girl in this game, like, overtly, and any other choice just feels wrong and confusing. Like, you know, there are, you know, scenes where the main character's talking about how he promised Sakura to marry her when they were kids, and, you know, they're constantly interacting, and, like, every interaction that you have with the other girls is, like, built upon how you interact with Sakura. But you could also date one of the other ones later at the end, and it just there's not even really, like, any scenes of them, like, dating or anything. It's not like it means anything. It's literally after the end credits, you just go on one date with the girl, and that's it. Yeah. It's like I almost feel like I'm cheating on Sakura. It feels almost gross. Like,
except for Azami, which was nice. It's like, hey, you can't date the 15-year-old this time.
Yeah, I did want to say that, yeah, like the Azami's chapter being as good as it was because it was explicitly non-romantic, and that helped it out a lot, because it allowed you to have a relationship that was built on interactions with other characters, interactions with her, and it wasn't just a forced love thing. It was, you know, you got to know this character, you got to know her problems, you got to know why she is the way that she is, and it felt way more, like, relatable than the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Azami's a standout character in that game, definitely.
Like, the wild thing was that I expected to hate her like I do the kid characters in every single one of those games, because they do play up the romance aspect in other games, where it's just like, no, now I feel creepy. And in this one, it's like, you can't even do the Nissan brother thing. No, it's just like, no, you just treat her with mutual respect.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. It's...
I thought the, like, last bit went on for too long, but that might just be because I didn't really like the gameplay that much. It's very just spammy. You don't get any new moves, really. Like, you can unlock the different girls to play as, but none of them really play differently, you know? Like, there's, a few, like, sword characters, and they all play pretty much the same. And then there's, like, the one girl that has a hammer. And then there's, like, two girls that have projectiles, and they play pretty much the same.
Yeah. I mostly just use the hammer 90% of the time. Because it felt better than a lot of the other characters. It just felt like you were actually swinging a big, meaty hammer instead of just another sword. Like Sakura kind of did. Yeah. Mm.
Overall, it was okay. I'm actually more interested in checking out the anime now, because I feel like having a straight story with, if there's romance or whatever, I feel like it'd be better to just have that single plot and not have to write around all these other things where it's like, oh, but just in case you get with one of the other girls, we can't write it like this, or like...
Yeah.
I just want a singular story. And so I'm hoping that having a singular story, having an exact path instead of anything else, that would be nice. So
yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, that's one of the things that helped the early Sakura Wars games, is the anime they made based on them was pretty good. And, like, just, hey, let's just do the one story and not let you date a 12-year-old.
Well, yeah, that's how I feel about Sakura Wars. I finished that, like, a night or two ago, and then I had to get to doing a bunch of schoolwork because it is finals time. But I'm pretty much done with that. So now that I'm done with that, I did start up Yakuza 7.
Ooh.
I didn't play too much of it because, again, I just started it, and that game does have a really long, like, opening bit.
It does.
And I understand why. It's because it's a brand new character and they have to introduce him. And they do a very good job. You really grow to love Ichiban by the end of that opening bit. Like, once he's out of prison, you know everything about, like, his whole deal, basically.
Yeah.
But it is a long bit. It's like it's a whole lot. But I'm glad they do give you some fights to break it up a little bit to give you an idea of combat.
Yeah.
But I feel like you've played a lot more, so if you want to talk more about Yakuza 7, you can go ahead.
I finished it.
Oh wow, okay.
I was sitting there thinking, do I want to play another open world game from Ubisoft, or do I want to play Yakuza 7? I'm going to go with Yakuza 7. And it was absolutely worth the time. That game is phenomenal from start to finish, and you just start liking Ichiban and his friends more and more and more as you grow out your team and start recruiting new people. And I love the little, like, hey, X character joined your party jingle it gives you when that happens. And then, like, a character will leave your party and it'll be, X character has left your party, and it'll give you a little RPG, like, sad jingle. It's, like, from start to finish, it is... I don't know why they refuse to call it Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon here, because it's absolutely Yakuza 7. It's like having knowledge of the Yakuza series. Like, you don't need that for a game like Judgment, but I feel like you do for this one, because a lot of it is still based around the Tojo clan and all that stuff from the old games. And yeah, Ichiban and his friends, every single one of them is likable in their like own ways. They're all completely different and unique characters, and Ichiban might actually, I think I might actually come to like him more than Kiryu if they keep going this way, the way they did with this game, because he's like almost the same kind. He's the same kind of character, but he's also, I was raised playing a lot of Dragon Quest, which is the entirety of why it's an RPG, and like making that be like our reasoning is kind of fantastic. Like, oh, why do you get hit a lot? Because, you know, I'm the hero and I don't want the bad guys to feel bad, so I'll let them hit me a couple of times. It's really charming, and I'm really excited for you to continue on, because I think you'll like it a lot.
Yeah, I like it a lot so far, and you know, like I do love Kiryu, but Ichiban definitely feels like more of a character. You know, like Kiryu is an archetype. He has good lines, he has good interactions with people, but when you get down to the actual meat and potatoes of a Yakuza game, the actual story, he's there to throw fists and to look pissed. And that's fun, and I love Kiryu, but Ichiban just feels a lot more human. He has heart, he has soul. And I think that was probably why they decided to make a new character, you know? They came to the conclusion, like, okay, yeah, we don't want to just have this hard-boiled badass anymore. We need someone to interact with people and be believable and have a fucking heart.
Yeah.
And, you know, Kiryu has a heart. I'm not going to say that Kiryu doesn't, like, care about people, because that is absolutely, you know, part of his whole story, is that he gives a shit about, like, Haruka and, you know, the other people in his life. But just Ichiban does it in a much more believable way. And so he's more lovable, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said, like, this might be my favorite of the series. There was only one part that I really had trouble with. At, like, late in the game, you'll probably get there at, like, level 28 to 32, and there is a boss fight in there that if you aren't at least 35 or above, you just will not beat. And, like, as much as I enjoy the Dragon Quest fighting system, grinding is just... That's one of my problems with the main Yakuza games, is there was just way too much combat, like random encounters and stuff, and that's still, like, being forced into that to grind a couple of times was frustrating, to say the least. But even then, like, Ichiban and his relationship with the rest of the cast and all the supporting characters and even the villains and, you know, everyone is some incredibly spectacular writing. It is, I mean, it is an achievement, I'd say. It might actually, like, thinking on it harder, it's close to making me stop joking about Neo 2 being my guaranteed game of the year. I actually have to think about it now.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to get to more, especially as you meet the rest of the crew.
Yeah, that is what I'm probably going to be ending up doing soon, is, like, meeting the rest of the characters. I haven't really hit that part yet, but, you know, we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's do some more news here. This is a slightly strange bit of news, but it's welcome nonetheless. Are you familiar with who Uri Geller is?
Yeah. He's the wizard man.
He's a magician and illusionist, I guess. Yeah. I would say, instead of a wizard.
He's a stage magician, yeah.
Yes. His famous trick, or at least the thing that he claims that he invented, was he claims to be behind the classic spoon bending trick. The trick where you hold the spoon and you focus on it enough that it bends backwards. So he claimed that because he invented it, he sued the Pokemon Company, or I guess more specifically Nintendo and just that whole debacle, over Kadabra's Pokemon TCG appearance. It's kind of confusing about how the whole thing went, because, he wasn't successful in keeping Kadabra, no, specifically Kadabra, it wasn't Abra or Alakazam, specifically Kadabra, out of the games, out of a lot of other things, but Kadabra was no longer in the TCG. If you see Abra or Alakazam cards, they still exist. Abra, maybe not so much, but there was an Alakazam card printed in the last set, because now there's those cards that are like the X, GX, V, VMAX, all those cards that are pretty much basic Pokemon that you could, but they're fully evolved forms of Pokemon, so you don't have to worry about evolving them up. And so they would have Alakazam cards that are that, so you don't have to evolve into an Alakazam from a Kadabra. But finally, after 20 years, Geller made a post on Twitter announcing that he is releasing the ban from Kadabra, and that he will allow the Pokemon Company to make Kadabra cards once again. Now, I mean, there are some, like Kadabra was straight up a reference to Uri Geller. It's, the boot spoon bending trick was that, but he claimed that they made an occult and evil Pokemon with Kadabra, and that is why he was upset about it. He thought that they were presenting him as a villain, and instead of it being what it really is that it's just it's a cute reference. It's more of a celebration of him. So that's something. I mean, the Japanese version of Kadabra is called Yun Geller. It's pretty much his name. So, he sent a letter to Nintendo, so it is official as such. He sent, Nintendo is aware of this. The Pokemon Company hasn't said anything about it, but hey, they're Nintendo has the blessing from him, so maybe not anytime soon, because, they usually come up with the cards pretty, they come up with these kinds of things maybe a year in advance, but hey, maybe sometime next year or something, there will be a new Kadabra card for the first time in 20 years. Yeah.
It was an interesting thing too, because it was hey, I'm giving them permission, and also a contrition, I actually feel bad for doing this, I guess I was kind of an asshole kind of thing, which was interesting, because
I kind of get where he was coming from originally. Oh, yeah. If you don't know what this thing means, and you're seeing this fucked up little monster that kind of sort of has your name, and it does look kind of evil, and you're just wow, they're making fun of me. They're trying to say that I look like this little bastard or whatever. But no, people love Kadabra. People love those Pokemon, and I feel like he's finally realized, that people have asked him, and it's not just a collector's thing. It's not just, oh, people want the rare Pokemon. No, people legit love that Pokemon, and they think the reference is fun. And I think he's finally realized that it was all in good fun. So that's good. I'm glad that he has learned that, he has lifted the ban, and that I will look forward to seeing a cool new Kadabra card, because hey, those Psychic-type Pokemon always have cool card art.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of the few Pokemon cards I have, I think, is Abra and a Pikachu that I got from different prize giveaway packages that came with stuff.
Yeah, the last card that got printed, it wasn't like they printed one card and that was it. They printed them for a little bit, but there hasn't been one since around the end of the Red and Blue era. So again, it's been like 20 years since then. It's been a really long time since then, and I guess this would also mean that they'll print more Abra cards. I swear that there were some like more recent Abras, so they probably just printed those for funsies because like they wouldn't have just like an Abra warp into an Alakazam because that would be against the rules of Pokemon.
Yeah,
that's it.
It'll be interesting to see. Like, I'm happy for TCG players, especially because I know that's important.
All right, let's see here. Next bit of news. Do you want to talk about that crazy Persona thing that occurred?
Well, I'm just really excited that we finally got news that, hey, Persona 5 Strikers is coming in February on the 21st. I'm really excited for that game, not because I love Persona 5, but because, I mean, y'all know me. It's a frickin' Muso game. I play Muso games. That's what I do. Still haven't played Age of Calamity yet. I'll have to get to that. But yeah, Persona 5 Strikers, the Muso game that is actually, like, apparently a full-on sequel to Persona 5, is coming out in February. And I'm really excited to kill, like, 9,000 Jack Frosts by hitting the X button and then maybe the Y button every once in a while.
It's the 3rd of February.
Oh.
Yeah. It's
why did I see the 21st? Oops.
It came out on the 20th of this year in Japan. So
that's
probably why. But no, I'm pretty excited. I am more excited for the Persona side of things. Again, I'm more than aware of the things that are wrong with Persona. I watched that trailer because this was a leaked trailer. Apparently, they're gonna officially reveal it in a few days. Which, I mean, just post the trailer. People saw it already. Yeah. I mean, I know that that there's all these marketing things that you have to do, and you paid all this money to make sure that it goes. But you're gonna be just posting the trailer. Just post the trailer.
Yeah, it's like I get your marketing thing messed up or somehow it got up, it messes up your plans. When that happens, it's better to adjust and come up with something quick than it is to, hey, we're sticking to our original plan, you're gonna find out in a week. It's like, just okay, maybe release the trailer and then maybe your big presentation can still happen where we get more info on the, voice cast or whatever.
There's probably not going to be any more information. Like, I bet they're just going to show the trailer again and that's it. But yeah, that's going to be on PS4, Switch, and Steam, which that's pretty cool. A Persona game, day and date on PC.
Yeah, that's
pretty neat.
This is one of the interesting things about Sega acquiring Atlas is Sega's been getting more and more into the PC market, so I have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot more of this. And I kind of hope it continues because it's nice being able to play on my nice big monitor.
Mm-hmm.
And not have to hog the TV when I'm playing a Muso game.
I can't wait to have a bunch of neoliberal morals on the screen and have to be like, all right, can I just see the characters interact now, please?
Wow. But you know what? We could solve this problem, or we could bring back the status quo by killing 7,000 Jack Frosts.
Can you show me? Can you show me Dikembe again, please? Just show me Dikembe again, thank you. Okay, so we also had a KOF 15 teaser, which y'all remember that KOF 15 was a thing? Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I mean, they only, announced that it existed, last year? In 2019?
They announced it at EVO. And that was pretty surprising. All they've really said so far is that the following characters are going to be in, which is Kyo, Benimaru, Shun'ei, Leona, and K-Dash. They're saying that Shun'ei will be the pro tag of the next game, and that it will differ greatly from KOF 14, as it will be the most ambitious KOF yet. They're going to show the first actual footage of the game on January 7th. And that's all we know.
Damn.
You know, I mean, that's way more than we knew before, but that's also not too much.
I mean, as long as one of my main team is in there, which has already been confirmed, we're good.
Who did you play?
Leona. Leona is swappable with Angel, but it's always King, Vanessa, and Leona, pretty much.
Okay. I guess this also kind of goes hand in hand with the other, really surprising, weird story about SNK, is that, I want to make sure that I get the name of this correct. Hang on. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia has a, company called the Mohammed bin Salman Charity Foundation, and has taken a 51% sharehold of SNK. So the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia has a majority holding of the company, pretty much has say in how that all goes. You know, I am admittedly not that in, not as in the know of Saudi Arabian politics as perhaps some people are, but there is a lot of talk of, the Saudi Arabian royalty doing a lot of highly fucked up things, and there was the assassination of that journalist a few years ago, and just a lot of other harm against the civilians there. And of course, I'm not saying that to make America sound any better, because it ain't. But the fact that these folks are directly involved with the game company is something to maybe keep in mind, at the very least.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting story, because they've been buying into a lot of different companies. But this is the first time I've seen one that's been no, we just bought ownership stake. Yeah.
Let's see here. There was a small update about Sukeban Games' Nirvana. It has been delayed to an indefinite time, which that's a bit of a shame. They were originally planning on having that game out this year. They started to talk about how COVID was going to probably delay that, but then Kiririn, the lead programmer at Sukeban, wrote an article on their site about why the game was going to be delayed indefinitely. Sounds like there was some internal turmoil, not anything that was necessarily tearing the studio apart, but it sounds like he was kind of self-crunching and not letting other people like help work on the game, and he pretty much just like admitted like, yeah, it was harming the game. And so, he basically said that he relented and let more people work with him, and that they basically reset the game, at least like, from what you would expect of it. So they don't know when it's coming out. They said that they will announce a new release date when they know. And they also said that new Sukeban games will probably come out before Nirvana comes out. So they do have that game that looks like Parasite Eve that they've been posting about for a while. So maybe that'll come out before Nirvana. But hey, you know what? It sounds like they ran into some strife but came out stronger, which, that's something that you don't really see these days. Usually you hear about some sort of conflict between like people and things fall apart, but it sounds like they butt heads and came out and were just like, you know what? Let's look at how this was being done and let's fix it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Like I haven't played Valhalla yet, but do you
It's
think
on Game Pass.
It's
on Game Pass. Yeah.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to download it then, because I know a lot of people were disappointed by this news, and I need to find out why.
Mm-hmm. I would say that since it's December, I don't remember the exact day, but Valhalla takes place in December, and each like level of the game takes place over like a night, and each night is maybe like 45 minutes to an hour. So some folks, and I'm thinking about doing it, I think some folks in the Discord were talking about it, are doing like a night-by-night playthrough.
Ooh.
So that could be something you could do. Just, play that much up to that night, and then play the next night the next day, and all that. Could be an interesting way to do it.
I like that idea. That way I could still play other games, and still get through Valhalla.
I mean, it's a visual novel. It's mostly just how fast you read. So it's not that big of a deal. But, it's a good one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Another bit of news that you probably won't hear on other games podcasts. A Twitter user, at the Dopster, released maybe the most insane game remake that could have ever come out this year. A full-on remake using original assets of both Link the Faces of Evil and Zelda the Wand of Gamelon. The Zelda CDI games remade.
Why?
I mean, if you want an actual answer, it's because the CDI is really hard to emulate and people want to fuck around with those games. That is probably why.
Yeah.
So I actually have downloaded. I have downloaded these remakes, and I actually played all the way through Faces of Evil. It's not good. The Dopster actually added a lot of quality of life features to the game, which is pretty nice. They added subtitles. They made it so actually playing the game is less frustrating because you just get your ass beat in that game. Its main problem is that they just spawn enemies like out of nowhere, and it's like that's why the game takes as long as it does. But there's a remaster mode that you can activate that just whenever you die, you just go back to the start of the screen instead of like any kind of game over or whatever. And you keep all your items and everything like that. And that makes the game playable. Yeah, I still wouldn't recommend it. And apparently, after you beat the game, you unlock a hero mode, which just means you take more damage. Which, after you beat that, you do get an unlock. And I guess I'll just say, I mean, I don't know if Wand of Gamelon has the same unlock, but at least for Faces of Evil, you get to play as the king, which is incredible. But I don't want to play through hero mode. It already took me like an hour and a half to get through Faces of Evil in regular mode, and that was already frustrating as hell. I don't want to bash my head against hero mode, even if I do have the better gameplay and all that. They also added Guanum hints, so you can press a button whenever you go to a new area, and Guanum will like tell you what to do, which is nice because I just like to see. I love seeing Guanum, and I love to read everything in his voice and have him tell me what I have to do. But that's not enough for hero mode. I don't want to go through hero mode.
Amazing. Are you gonna go through the other game too?
I guess I have to.
I mean, at this point, I definitely wouldn't recommend hero mode, but
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
man.
why not? I guess.
Oh man.
Yeah, if I did one, I have to do the other. But yeah, that's something that happened. You can download it on the Dopster's Twitter. That's at the DOPSTER, all one word.
Wild.
As a labor of love, it's pretty neat. But
Yeah.
Shit game anyway. You can only polish a turd so much.
Yeah. Wow.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we move on to questions?
Well, while we're talking about weird old games being re-released through things, we'd be hard-pressed not to mention that they put the PlayStation somebody just uploaded a working prototype of the PlayStation version of Superman 64 to DeviantArt. That was the weirdest piece of news this week, is that the PlayStation version of Superman 64 exists, which they knew it was where people were working on it before it was canned, but it was actually pretty okay, it seems. And somebody just put it out on their DeviantArt. That's honestly a really awesome kind of thing, that hey, here's this game that existed and was canceled and is now archivable.
So the funniest bit of it, though, was that this whole thing, the reason why it didn't come out sooner was because of a bunch of old forum drama that I'm not going to get into because it's just, it's old forum drama. This person had one Superman, I guess just Superman PS1, I guess you would have to call it, on an auction. And I think they are the same person that got their hands on Resident Evil 1.5 as well. And they uploaded that. But I guess there was some forum drama that made them be like, you know what? Fuck you all. I'm not going to release Superman PS1. In fact, I'm going to delete it. And then they did. But then they dug up some old hard drives recently and used some program to dig up as deep as possible to revive it, basically. Even though they wiped those hard drives. And they somehow did. So they saved it and uploaded it on DeviantArt. But then I guess something happened and they deleted it from DeviantArt, but luckily by that time people had downloaded it, so it's up on archive.org now, so, it doesn't matter anymore. But it's kind of funny that this big piece of game history where, everyone laughs at Superman 64, this is a better version of that game. It's not good.
It's just such a wild thing that, the guy just puts it on DeviantArt and now it's out there again. Instead of just vanishing into the ether, because
yeah,
it's a weird. This week's been weird, and I mean, it's not gonna be like next week with the Game Awards flood coming, but it's still been a lot, and the fact that it kind of started with, hey, you can play the PlayStation version of Superman 64 on Archive now. It's it's just
wild.
a really interesting week. And game-wise, I just wanted to talk a little bit about one little thing with over the last couple of weeks. Like, everyone knows I love Final Fantasy XIV. I'm not going to talk about it a lot because we just had like 6 hours of podcast go up from Rose and Skull, which you should go listen to. Phenomenal podcasts. Go listen. Great stuff. I've gotten into, over the last few weeks, I'd gotten into running Savage content, which is like the second hardest stuff in the game. I was like, I really want to get serious about this stuff with friends, and I got my first like real clears and like finally beat these things after beating your head against a boss for like 3 hours, 3+ hours a week, every week, with the same set of people dying to the same things over and over again until you figure them out and get a little bit further every time. I finally got that first real clear, and that second one, and the next one, and it, every single time I have never felt as good completing an accomplishment in a video game as I have when I did that. It's just that, like, you don't even need to clear it. Just getting past a mechanic that killed you 20 times and made you go back through 7 minutes of a fight is just this fantastic feeling. And then finally winning that fight is, oh, it's such a great feeling. And I just needed to share that apparently I'm actually good at this game now. And I just feel so good. And now that I have a voice, I wanted to shout about it a little bit.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I guess we can move on to questions. If you want to send in a question, go to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask. You'll sound like I'm getting a look at these questions, and I don't know what's wrong with most of you. I'm just going to be honest with you. One of these is just, I don't know if this is like an activation phrase. Am I activating an assassination by saying Skaven Pox? What is that? Gremlin Warren, I don't know what Skaven Pox is. Googling it. Okay, something about Warhammer. I don't know. Something
what?
About Warhammer. Yeah, Skaven is like a Warhammer race, I think?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. I read that.
Okay. It's an ugly armor set in Final Fantasy.
Anonymous said, is PogChamp soy face? And I need everyone to relax. Okay. I need everyone to relax.
I'm very lost.
I need everyone to relax, is what I need. That's what I need.
I mean, I do feel terrible about myself that I learned a new mechanic and said proggers after. I wanted to smash my head against a brick wall 2 seconds later. I'm turning into an internet meme lord.
Alright, well, I'll ask the one question that we got, I guess, here. From Harlequin Wheels, who asks, who is the funniest poll you can think of for presenting an award at the Game Awards for a category of your choice? Now that is a question.
Oh, that is really good.
Yeah, who would you want to present something at the Game Awards?
God, I was going to, I would have jokingly said Stephen A. Smith screaming about fake sports being fake and getting angry presenting an award for, best sports game, but that apparently has already been done. God.
I want Tim Heidecker and Greg Turkington to present literally anything. I want them to be in their own cinema characters. For best writing or something. I need Greg Turkington. I'm a Greg head, so I want Greg to be up there and be like, "Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about the best writing in a game." Now, games aren't as good as movies because you have such great hits as like Charles in Charge or whatever. No, that's a TV show. He just pulls some like shit 90s movie like he always does, and like that's just what I want. I want Tim to get like extremely angry, or I want him to be like in like a full body cast, or like having half his face falling off or something, like anything like that. And Greg just exhausted, and that's what I want. Just anything. I guess, yeah, for like best story would be my choice for Tim and Greg.
Tim, yeah, I would also go like best. I don't know, best adventure game or best narrative with Bob Odenkirk, or funniest game. Like, I just don't know why that smarmy asshole. I would enjoy seeing what kind of bullshit he would pull on stage at a thing like that.
All right, well, I guess that's it. Thank you all for listening and sending stuff in. Of course, we're really glad that you went ahead and sent in something, even though most of it was completely incomprehensible to a normal human being.
I mean, it was incomprehensible to me, so...
If you want to send in a question, it's videogamechoochoo.home.com. Just ask. And that should be it. Of course, you can find us on Twitter, at VGCC. On Tumblr, videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com. We have our Facebook page. We have a YouTube, youtube.com/c/videogamechoochoo. We have our Discord, which is you type in the gamezone.zone into your web browser, and it'll bring you straight there. You can join it in your web browser, or on your mobile device, or your Discord client on your desktop. And you can hang out with us in there. We're always hanging out and doing dumb shit in there. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/VGCC. If you go there and you donate just $3 a month, you'll gain access to Choo Choo Gao Unlimited Train Works, our anime podcast, a whole week early. Isn't that exciting? We just did a review of Ghost in the Shell, which was really good. A standalone complex specifically, which was really good. But you could hear us talk about it and more. Just give us $3. And finally, thank you to Melt Channel and Magic Circuit for our theme song Crush off of the album Magic is Real. If you want to listen to them, it's meltchannel.bandcamp.com or magic-circuit.bandcamp.com. And of course, if you're listening to this, we're recording it on the day of, so we can't really give you a heads up. But as always, on the first Friday of every month, Bandcamp waives all their fees. So buying music straight from Bandcamp will give all the money to them. So if you want to directly support Magic Circuit and Melt Channel, that's where you want to do it. You want to buy it straight from there on the first Friday of every month. And that should be it. Chris, why don't you tell folks where they can find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Judgment Scythe. That's mostly where I am these days. Eventually I'll get back to Twitch, but that'll be a little bit as I work on stuff.
Of course. You can find me at JOHN_MICHONSKI. And that's it. That's all I got, and that's all we got this time. I do think that I do need to announce this. I forgot that I do need to announce this. So Game of the Year. We're doing Game of the Year a little bit differently this year. Not really in that it's going to be anything different. We're not really doing too much new content. There might be some surprise bonus things later, but it's going to basically just be like what we've been doing for the past few years. But it's going to be coming out a little late. We're probably going to be releasing it like late January, because we want to make sure that we give enough time for everyone to play everything. Like, Cyberpunk is coming out like soonish, and the folks that are going to be playing Cyberpunk need a lot of time to play Cyberpunk, and there's just a bunch of other stuff that's coming out, and, this just with COVID and just general annoyances with the world lately, we all thought it was best to just give ourselves a few more weeks so we're not rushing, so we have enough time to actually talk about everything that came out this year and you give it a fair shake. So expect Game of the Year like the end of January. We're going to try our best to make it as good as possible, as good as usual, but we don't want to rush it. We would rather have good, well thought out stuff instead of rushed, bad content that is going to kill us making it. So that's that. Game of the Year is going to be a little late this year. That's it. But yes, other than that, we'll be back next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. So long, everybody.